This is ABC 7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Cohn, and welcome to ABC 7 at 7. Topping our news tonight, across the nation, protests and town halls in the wake of the violence by and against police are taking place tonight. A community conversation between the local NAACP and the Sarasota Police was planned to go on as we speak to talk about unity in the face of so much tension around the country. Instead, it has been postponed for logistical reasons, we're told. Here is the statement from the Sarasota Police Department, quote, "Due to the logistics surrounding tonight's community meeting, the NAACP, Focus, and the Sarasota Police Department has decided to postpone tonight's community conversation with area law enforcement. A future date has not been decided at this time." The meeting was planned for the Bethel CME Church, but officials say the size of the venue was inadequate. We are still gathering information, and we will have more details tonight at 11 o'clock. A proposal is being made to build a massive waterfront community on prime real estate off of Cortez Road. The proposed Peninsula Bay development would be on hundreds of acres of what is currently farmland spanning between 103rd Street and 119th Street West. Developer Whiting Preston says it would include more than 1,900 homes, a hotel, marina, a boat ramp, and 90,000 feet of commercial waterfront space.
There isn't a lot of developments like this, and if you look at our plan, we've moved most of the housing away from the waterfront. We separate that with open spaces, a 67-acre lake. We really try to do things that generally have not been done here.
Preston and his team will attend a Planning and Zoning Commission meeting tomorrow to answer questions from the public. Sarasota County's bus service could soon be making some major changes, including more buses with fewer stops. SCAT may soon eliminate 15% of its stops, but as those are being eliminated, 10 new clean diesel buses are being added to the fleet. 20 more are expected next year. SCAT is also looking into making Wi-Fi available to riders. As for what riders want, many are asking for increased routes on Sundays and on holidays. Sarasota County Commissioners are approving next year's budget for Visit Sarasota. The tourism organization will have just over $7 million, with more than $500,000 earmarked for the 2017 World Rowing Championships. Visit Sarasota says it plans to continue promoting the area as a tourist destination and will hire a new sales representative to market the nearly 1,000 new hotel rooms coming to the area. The good news is Longboat Key's largest renourishment project comes to an end this week. The bad news, it could be months before construction crews will leave the island for good. The $12 million effort is wrapping up, but it's only half of the total renourishment work planned for the shoreline. In August, crews will dredge 200,000 cubic yards of sand from New Pass to cover erosion on the south end of the island, a project one condo says can't end soon enough.
The beach has been eroding away slowly, but it's gotten to the point where there's not much beach left.
Workers say it could still be for another month before the entire project is done. And now to a check on the weather. And Bob, we have some wild weather out there.
Yeah, we do right now. Many photos being sent into pics at mysuncoast.com of this dramatic sky of a storm system that has moved in now across the Suncoast. We appreciate all those photos. Keep them coming to PIX at mysuncoast.com. Get a look at this one, which was just sent in about a half hour ago, of a shelf cloud. And that's a gust front that creates that nice appearance that you see right there out ahead of some very heavy rainfall. Cindy Desmond sending this one in, along with many others. We're posting those on our social media sites at this point. Lakewood Ranch webcam showing the storms moving in just around 6 o'clock to 6:30. You'll start to see those clouds increasing, thicken up a bit, and then the heavy rains and lightning moving in right now with gusty winds up to 40 miles an hour. You can see the Titan radar review over the past hour or so, and now showing the heaviest rain moving in towards Siesta Key, Venice, Palmer Ranch, as well as Lakewood Ranch. The good news is that the storms are on a downtrend in terms of severity. Looks like we will still see some lightning strikes, some rain up to an inch in some areas, as well as some gusty winds, maybe 30 to 40 miles an hour with the cells. Right now in downtown Sarasota, some very heavy rainfall out toward Lido, spreading toward Longboat Key, and in Palmer Ranch near Osprey. Some very heavy rainfall there occurring all the way down to near Nokomis and Venice, all associated with these afternoon and evening thunderstorms, a typical summer pattern that will persist, I think, over the next several days, running in through the weekend. As far as the 7-day forecast goes, here's what it looks like. Yeah, summer. Afternoon showers and storms, highs in the low 90s, low temperatures into the mid 70s. The good news is that throughout much of the day in the morning and early afternoon, Alan, boating should be okay if you have that in your plans, or the beach for that matter as well. But right now, some pretty big storms.
But none of the tornado activity that we saw the other day?
Right. It looks like right now the severe possibility has lessened significantly right now, but we'll keep an eye on it for you.
All right. Thanks a lot, Bob. And still to come, over the past decade, lionfish numbers have exploded in the Gulf of Mexico. They are damaging our marine ecosystem, but are they here to stay? And find out what is being done to rid them from our waters. That story when we come back.
Need new windows? Buy direct from the factory. New South Window is having a sale. The more you buy, the more you save. Buy 4 windows, save 25%. Buy 6 windows, save 30%. Buy 8 or more windows and save 35%. How? Because New South owns the factory and you cut out the middleman. Award-winning, energy-efficient windows and doors installed with a lifetime warranty. New South Windows are made in Florida for Florida homes by Florida workers. Visit newsouthwindow.com or call now.
Hi, I'm Joan London, and if you're worried about your parent or a loved one living alone like I was, and you want reliable senior care information, then call A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. You'll get free information on assisted living, Alzheimer's care, nursing homes, even important financial information.
They had obviously researched every place, not just given me names. They found me a place for what she could afford, and it was magnificent.
We're now very confident that she's safe, and they just helped every step of the way, and I can't thank them enough.
So if you're struggling to find reliable senior living information, call A Place for Mom. This is a free service, and you can trust them to help you.
Call right now to get your free Senior Care Compass ebook. Find out about the 5 best-kept secrets on financing senior care and assisted living.
Call now, 800-290-0352. 800-290-0352.
The all-new official Suncoast forecast, only on ABC 7.
Florida is home to all sorts of invasive species, but one has the potential to do some serious damage to our local marine ecosystems and our local seafood industry. ABC 7's Kate Flexter has the story.
That's right, Alan. The lionfish is a predator, but it has no real predators itself, so it poses major risks to our local reef fish.
241.
One by one, volunteers measured and recorded the height, width, and weight of each and every lionfish, all part of Mote Marine Laboratories' annual Lionfish Derby.
We want to educate people about the problem of this invasive species, and we also want to give them a chance to learn how to make a dent in these populations.
While beautiful, the lionfish is considered the most destructive exotic species in Florida's marine waters. That's mainly because it has no real predators. But as a predator itself, it's a major threat to Florida's native species and ecosystems. The lionfish consumes more than 120 different species of fish and crustaceans. And in heavily invaded areas, they've reduced fish populations by up to 90%.
They're very fast reproducing, they're venomous, and they can eat a lot of native fish. And they've caused some native fish populations to really decrease in invaded areas.
Florida's lionfish invasion began more than 20 years ago off the Atlantic coast. Experts suspect it began when someone released aquarium lionfish into the wild. Ocean currents and hurricanes helped the fish spread all the way to the Gulf Coast. During the Derby, divers try to keep that growing population under control, competing to spear as many of the fish as they can.
Anytime I'm out spearfishing, I'm always looking for a large concentration of lionfish so I can go back and harvest them during a tournament.
And to keep all of those fish from going to waste, local restaurants prepared and served unique dishes featuring the invasive species. Lionfish is becoming more mainstream as a food item. Recently, Whole Foods began selling the fish. The catches can be inconsistent and difficult to keep in stock.
We can't put the lionfish on our menu always because it's a very inconsistent thing with the spear guys. But when we can and we have it on our menus, you know you're cooking something you really feel good about, and that's awesome.
The Derby is also an opportunity for scientists.
This gives us more specific information. We know these fish are voracious. We know that they eat a wide variety of prey items. Basically anything they can fit into their mouth is what it seems. And nothing is eating them.
Those scientists not only measured the fish, but also studied the DNA content of their stomachs, determining what the lionfish are eating and which species may be in danger.
And by doing this, we'll be able to know how much of what is in the lionfish diet is specifically related to those species that we value the most commercially and recreationally.
Not only do lionfish eat a wide variety of fish, but they also compete for food with commercially valuable fish like snapper. Alan?
Thanks, Kate. And in a moment, we'll speak with two people with some innovative approaches to handling the lionfish problem. So stay with us.
Just because someone grows older, does that mean they have to grow apart from their friends or from the things they love to do? With Right at Home, it doesn't. Right at Home's professional team thoughtfully selects caregivers to help with personal care, housekeeping, meals, and most of all, staying engaged in life.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome. Are you ready to go?
Oh, I sure am.
We can provide the right care right at home.
Attention, this is an important message for anyone who had an IVC filter placed to prevent blood clots from traveling to their heart or lungs. Did your IVC filter move, break, or cause organ damage? The FDA warns that IVC filters may cause serious complications, such as heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, even death. If you or a loved one suffered serious complications, call IVC Filter Helpline now. You may be entitled to compensation. IVC filters are designed to prevent blood clots. If your IVC filter moved or broke and you suffered heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, or if a loved one died as a result, call IVC Filter Helpline today. Our network of experienced attorneys is ready to fight for you. You'll pay nothing unless there's a recovery in your favor. Call today for a free confidential consultation. Don't fight this alone. Call IVC Filter Helpline now.
Please call 800-897-6764. That is 800-897-6764.
Whether you're a homeowner looking for a professional installation or a contractor looking for top quality products, Sarasota Glass and Mirror can meet your every need.
For 42 years, Sarasota Glass and Mirror has been the area's premier supplier and installer of quality glass products for your home or business. As an authorized PGT WinGuard dealer, we know how to protect your home with everything from the PGT WinGuard impact-resistant windows and doors to shower enclosures and decorative mirrors. The Sarasota Glass and Mirror team has the knowledge to tackle any project.
And joining us for more on tonight's topic is Ali El-Haj, inventor and owner of Zookeeper, a device used to safely capture the venomous lionfish, and two-time semifinalist for the James Beard Best Chef Award, Steve Phelps of Indigenous. Thank you both for being here, and this is really a fascinating topic. And Ali, let me start with you by asking you, how did this become such a problem with lionfish becoming an invasive species?
Well, I think, the first time I ever heard about lionfish was in 2011. And first of all, thanks for having us today. The problem actually started a lot earlier, where all of a sudden, like in 2006, there was an explosion of their numbers throughout the Caribbean. That's when everybody started looking at this fish and the detriment that it is to our marine environment.
Now, were people having them at home or in aquariums as pets and then started releasing them into the open water?
So the theory that is most accepted is that aquarium enthusiasts released some lionfish into off the coast of the East Florida in the early to mid 80s. and a bunch of these lionfish found each other and started multiplying.
Quite aggressively, we
Yes.
understand. Something like they reproduce every 4 days and up to 18 protective venomous spines. That means that if you get stung, it can be a little bit painful.
It could be very, very painful. Everybody has a different reaction to the venom. I know that the first time I got stung, it was excruciating pain. I wouldn't want anybody to go through that.
So you invented this device?
Yes, so this was, the Zookeeper was first designed specifically for lionfish to safely contain them while you're removing them from the reefs and protect the dive.
And it works well.
It's been working very well. I wouldn't dive without one.
You know what's absolutely incredible, Steve, is it's not too often we get to say we can possibly eat our way out of a big problem, but you're giving it your best shot. You're serving lionfish at your restaurant.
Absolutely. You know, I think not only am I doing it, but everybody in our community and mostly through the coastlines is really jumping on board. I think, you know, as we talked earlier, 6 months ago, we were just hearing about it as chefs and knew a lot of guys that were down south of us in the islands were really enjoying it. And, you know, as we learned how invasive it was, we started getting little tastes of it here and there and realized that, I mean, this fish has an amazing flavor to it, and its versatility is fantastic, like a really good snapper. So,
well, let's describe that. What does it taste like, and how do you prepare it?
To me, I mean, a lot of people don't know what hogfish is, but I think it's very similar to that meat. It's a very translucent, very beautiful white meat.
Flounder.
Flounder, I would find it in that same category. Just super delicate white meat. We see it more as a raw application just because it's got such
Meaning you don't cook it?
No heating on it at all. We've done some techniques where we'll just drizzle a little olive oil on it and then just warm, like infuse it with a little torch and then season it with some great seasonings and do it that way. But as a fried little teeny fillet, because most of the fillets we usually get are small, but the chefs always request the big fish from these guys. You know, fried and battered like that is fantastic too. So it's, you know, on the plate, it's a home run.
Now, obviously, the question that most people sitting at home right now would be asking is, if it is venomous, how do you make sure that by eating it, you're not affected by it?
Absolutely. There's been a big misconception about blowfish, which, as we were talking about earlier, is poisonous. And then the lionfish is venomous. So when we receive those fish, apparently after they're deceased, so to speak, the venom has decreased a little bit in their system. So in those barbs, those spines, you get pricked, it's still gonna be really painful. I mean, just while it's dead, preparing it that way. So we use a pair of thick garden gloves when we first receive it, a pair of kitchen shears, and then go ahead and cut these spines off and cut the tail off. And then we've got a beautiful fish that we can work with safely after that. So we usually just start in the kitchen with the scissor team. Everybody just starts cutting it up, and then the people who don't want to do that part will jump in and do the fillet work. But if you can get past that safely, in just having the knowledge of what it can do to you, because you really don't want to test yourself, it's so easy to work with.
And how many local restaurants are doing this?
I could say right now I know 5, and that's increasing. We've got a really good collaboration of chefs nowadays that are sharing information about sustainable seafood, and I think there's probably about 5 or 6 that are playing with it for specials.
Ali, I can imagine that you, all jokes aside, you really can't eat your way out of this problem. So is anybody doing or researching how to really basically get a handle on this? Because it's my understanding, if you don't, then other species of fish are going to be endangered.
Right. So lionfish are gluttonous eaters, so they'll decimate our native fish population. There are, right now, with a Zookeeper and a pole spear, divers are doing a great job at recreational depths, which is roughly up to 130 feet. There are entities that are working on traps, lionfish-specific traps. for beyond recreational levels. I know of two traps right now being studied in Curacao. One's deployed at 180 feet and one at 320 feet. And the interesting thing is within 3 weeks, one of the traps had lionfish in it. So people are looking into it, marine biologists and other people that have started to come up with products.
Specifically, whether the other kinds of fish or sea life are threatened by the lionfish, and are you already seeing this impacting demand for other fish that you serve in your restaurant?
Yes. What happens is the lionfish decimate our native fish on a reef so quickly that you will see less and less of our predators, the groupers, the snappers, come to that reef. So the fishermen, the commercial guys that go out there to get these fish won't find them. The interesting thing is that lionfish also eat small snapper and small groupers. So without removing these, we could see extinction of certain species, not necessarily grouper or snapper, but other very important, either ecological or economical fish.
Steve, do you already see this as having an impact in terms of what you can get in?
I do, and that's absolutely true with what he said. I think I've got guys who not only are commercial for us to sell to the restaurants, but I have friends that go out and they dive and they fish, and there's spots that they had that were their lucky spot, their hot spot, and they're going out there now and they're not seeing the snapper and the grouper and the other species that are down there, and they're right away just realizing why. They get down there and it's lionfish infested. I mean, it's an infestation is what I would call it, and that's what they're starting to say. You know, we used to go to mile 45 and whatever spot, and now it's infested and we don't really go down there anymore. And so it is affecting those guys to us too.
And we're running out of time, but obviously, is this a Florida or Gulf only problem, or is this a problem elsewhere?
Actually, no, it's the entire Gulf of Mexico, the entire Caribbean, the East Atlantic up to North Carolina, and all the way down to roughly Rio de Janeiro. But to touch on the great thing about lionfish now is that there's such a demand created by restaurants that if there is a lot of lionfish at one particular site, those fishermen can actually take them, and wholesalers throughout the state will actually buy them from them. Right. So the demand is,
yeah. Fascinating topic. Gentlemen, thank you very much for coming in tonight.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Good conversation, and we'll be back in just a moment.
US Med has great news for anyone living with diabetes.
If you have Medicare, private insurance, or prescription drug coverage, US Med will ship a new glucose meter right to your home.
And shipping is free.
My new meter uses only a speck of blood, so it's less painful than my previous meter.
If you have Medicare, private insurance, or prescription drug coverage, you're covered with US Med. We're welcoming new patients, even if your current provider can't supply you anymore.
I don't even have to test on my fingers anymore. I can test on my hand or forearms, and it's more accurate than my old meter.
So call US Med today, and you'll have a choice of 2 great meters.
One that actually speaks your results, or a meter so small it fits in the bottle of strips.
Act now, and US Med will include a free prescription discount card. We'll also send you a free diabetes cookbook. This is your opportunity.
So call US Med today.
You'll be glad you did.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
This is a special health alert for seniors suffering with joint pain. If you have Medicare insurance, you may qualify for high-quality support braces at little or no cost.
I'm thrilled with my knee braces.
Now, there is a simple and proven solution for seniors to get out of pain with state-of-the-art support braces.
I barely feel any pain at all.
Braces for your knees and back, as well as your shoulders and ankles, too.
I'm so happy with the quality of these braces.
Call now, and you could qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost.
I can play ball again, and it doesn't hurt.
And because of my Medicare coverage, it costs me next to nothing.
So call now.
And because I have this red, white, and blue Medicare card, my braces have cost me just about nothing.
It's true. You may get a knee, back, shoulder, and ankle brace at little or no cost.
They qualified me for 2 knee braces and a back brace.
If you have knee or back pain, give them a call. They can help.
1-800-476-8967. 1-800-476-8967.
The Venice Police Department is losing officers at an alarming rate. Compared with other agencies in our area, officers in Venice are underpaid. The chief is working with the city to set aside money in the budget to increase salaries, but they still need to go through negotiations with the Fraternal Order of Police. Here is what you have to say about this. Shawana Noki Page writes, police officers should be some of the highest paid city employees. They are putting their lives on the line every day they go to work. How much is that worth? David Elliott writes, good cops come at good pay. Stop being the cheap city you are, and pay these employees what they are worth. It's a dangerous job. Get with the times, Venice. And Gary Nash writes, they should be paid enough that there is competition for the positions available, the way you always have quality applicants to choose from. And David Fidge writes, they should get a competitive wage by local standards. Well, if you'd like to join the conversation about tonight's topic, just visit our Facebook page at facebook.com/news at 7. And that is all the time we have for this evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Alan Cohn. Have a good night.